Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Dimitri's dad has the hairstyle of another character that we've already met. And I don't know if that's intended and a huge spoiler, or it's just a coincidence. But I suspect nothing is a coincidence.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdinand, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdinand, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No, something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Indeed, but I was thinking about ending it here. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were. I don't know, but I have a guess. Ah, I suppose I haven't told you about that yet. I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years, especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with. Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end. Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
Hi. It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And now we're headed to the kingdom? That sounds hard. Oh, really hard, don't you think? Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
Unbelievable.
No.
Okay.
Here's my thought.
The fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
Professor?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die, but I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah, well, I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fodlan knows peace.
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Murden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital. The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything. Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
Say, up until a few decades ago, Ferdiad was a disorderly city. Even the water supply was poorly constructed. As such, it was a hotbed of sickness and disease. The late king hired a researcher named Cornelia, who advised that he give top priority to improving the city's infrastructure. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed into a place of beauty and order. At the same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another. It was miraculous.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Fodlan? Something about those with power knowing how to use it? If he's not careful, the goddess will send her saints to smite him. Not that I believe that.
Say, I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much. But I wanted to help you guys out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
Yeah, guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kind of useful, at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
No.
Professor. Even this town, which was a ruin, has begun to recover its energy. However, acquiring supplies is still difficult. The people living here are struggling too. This conflict must be brought to an end soon. I agree. We must seize victory with our own hands. Still, I wonder what path my life should follow once we achieve our goals. This has been my intent. However, I sometimes find myself thinking differently. I wonder if it is time for my role here to end. Our peaceful future would hardly benefit from a war-hardened relic such as myself. I wonder if I should ask my wife to join me here, to live out our days together at the monastery. That would not be so bad a choice either. Perhaps it is the fault of last night's drink that I am indulging in such dreams of the future today. You are correct. For now, I should focus on surviving the battles at hand.
Hey! It's the old fishing guy! Hi there!
A short time ago, I instructed these children in the art of fishing.
Thanks to you, we caught a really, really big fish in the river nearby.
Is that right? Be sure you share it with your families now.
We will!
I did say something about that once, didn't I? I even told you to forget you ever saw me smile. But now, I would not ask that of you. Your words from when last we spoke have stayed with me. They bring to mind the king I first served. He told me not to dwell upon the dead. The dead are dead, and those who live are not bound by them. I intend to live my own life from now on. You have a fine smile as well. One that I could never have imagined when we first met. No matter how our titles or positions change, I hope you will always remain yourself, Professor.
Right.
What? I can still hardly believe we managed to win against numbers like that. Oh, unless the real me is lying dead in Gronder and this is all just a happy dream.
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
Thank you. A moment, please.
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done. But if His Highness is owning up to his past and trying to move forward, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Hey!
Hello
Definitely.
After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Maybe. Professor.
How is this? Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
True. Dimitri's completely changed. Or maybe I should say he's finally back to normal. Either way, I'm glad he's come around to the idea of retaking Ferdiad. With our current troops, there's no way we could handle the Imperial capital. We wouldn't even get past Fort Mercius.
This experience is critical.
Hello.
How is this?
Professor, I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the Kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
Need something? See you again soon.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
There's a school of sorcery in Ferdiad, which is staffed by the top minds of magical research. The study of crests and sorcery should not be separate. I've often thought I should pay them a visit someday. I never imagined I might end up invading the place with an army, though. Not how I imagined it at all.
The Emperor was wounded at Gronder Field. What do you think is going on in the Empire now? The Leicester Alliance has really suffered a blow as well. Who knows what will become of them? From now on, we have to pay close attention to how the rest of Fodlan is doing.
I am very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. This is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It's a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward. I have a request. I have a request.
Right. Edelgard. Claude. His Highness. All the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
Professor, if we're headed to the Kingdom capital, that means we're further away from rescuing Lady Rhea. But it can't be helped, can it? Perhaps some people will question this decision, but I trust your judgment. Lady Rhea would want us to help in Ferdiad. She'd scold us if we rescued her and left innocent people suffering.
seems we are headed for the Kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Dimitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
Professor.
Fighting with 3 different groups in the mix was as confusing as it was difficult to survive. Enemies and allies dying, one on top of the other. What an absolute mess, huh? If only I had my infirmary out in Gronder. Maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
This experience is critical.
Hey, you.
Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Ferdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine. You're right. It's an important battle, so let's make sure we're ready for anything.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, Boar Prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in 2.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say. Yet Hausfrau Darius still told that story for years.
What's wrong, Felix?
How pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him? You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. Ah, I really miss it. Even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweets shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time, right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind.
Your Highness, I've come to apologize. I mismanaged my feelings and got carried away. I've been thinking about what might have made you say the things you did. I was so caught up in the moment, and in my own feelings, that I didn't think of what yours might be.
No, I should be the one to apologize. I did not intend to say such things. I lashed out like a child. You were right to rebuke me. I am disgusted by my own inability to express myself. Will you allow me to explain?
Of course.
At the tragedy of Dusker, I saw countless corpses. Of course, I saw his, too. Glenn's. Ingrid, I doubt you would have been able to see him. They were unable to bring his body back, after all. He must have died an agonizing death, full of pain and regret. That is what I saw in his face. In that wasteland, there were no beautiful, proud deaths that could have been written about in heroic tales. Not one. I do not want you to die a death like that. Not even for the sake of loyalty or duty.
A king must at times order his soldiers and knights to fight and die on his behalf. Their lives must be used for the greater good. And this is something any good king understands innately. Any king who doesn't allow people to die on his behalf is too soft to rule well.
You leave me little room for argument. Have I disappointed you?
No. I chose to serve you because of how you are. As your knight, I will stand by your side and uphold your soft-hearted ideals.
What has changed, Ingrid? You were so obstinate the other day.
I've realized that I haven't been facing a very important truth. Because of you, I can finally move on. Thank you.
Your Highness, missing the day's training? How unlike you.
I had intended to train, but this rain is unrelenting.
Yes, it's really coming down out there. Makes it hard to go outside, I suppose. It's pouring so hard, I can't help but feel poorly.
Yes. Quite.
Sorry, that one was pretty bad. I think this weather is putting a damper on my sense of humor.
At any rate, did you need me for something?
Ah, yes. You seem to have the time to spare, so would you help me organize our stock of weapons? You must know a thing or two about weapons, and I bet you're no slouch at physical labor.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. I was just hoping for a useful way to pass the time until the rain lets up.
I appreciate it. I don't know how I do it all on my own. You know, it's great that you're willing to help with this kind of thing. Some nobles are so self-important. You're a real go-getter, Your Highness. Or should I say, your spryness? Maybe that was disrespectful. If he's going to lop off my head, he'd better go ahead and do it. I can't bear the silence. Listen, Your Highness, that joke, I didn't mean to...
I just...
Huh?
oh my... I'm sorry, Eloise.
Wait, you mean you actually found it funny?
Oh goodness, not at all.
I see.
But when a joke is unfunny to a certain degree, it somehow comes full circle into hilarity.
That's not exactly what I was going for. Still, I don't think I've ever seen you laugh so loudly.
It's true. Laughter is not one of my strong suits. I actually can't recall the last time I laughed like that. Eloise, perhaps you should focus your efforts on honing this comedic talent of yours.
This talent? Is that your way of saying I'm no good at telling jokes?
My apologies. I should refrain from commenting on the quality of your jokes. What's important is that they bring joy, right?
That does it. Next time I make you laugh, I'm gonna make you admit it was a good quality joke. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to cook up some top-notch rib ticklers.
Eloise, what about organizing the weapons? Oh, he's gone, isn't he? Gustav. It has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission. There
is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth, if only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Dutiful as ever, Dedu.
What are you suggesting?
You're always busy delivering messages.
You mean His Highness's orders?
Does he need you to run such trivial errands?
He should not trouble himself over them. I am honored to attend His Highness, and to represent him in all matters. Ever since he saved my life, serving him has given me reason to live.
Reason to live? Huh.
Your relationship to the Archbishop seems similar.
Not quite. I joined the Knights to repay a debt I owed Rhea. The debt's been repaid, so she's nothing more than a former employer.
Then you are not motivated by loyalty.
Not especially. I wouldn't call Rhea my reason to live.
And if a higher-paying employer comes along?
I'd consider it. That's what mercenaries do.
Then yes, we are completely different.
Everyone's different. I'm not trying to criticize your loyalty. I've seen a lot of people like you all over the world. They don't tend to last very long, though. Try not to end up like them.
Thank you for the warning.
You.
What did I do? Am I in your way? I'm in your way. I know, I get it. I'm sorry. I can't stand the sight of me either.
I never said that. Stay right there. You're always running away. You must really find me irritating.
Irritating? I know. I completely... What? No, I mean, I know I'm irritating, but... Huh?
Stop. Do you remember when you came up behind me and knocked the sword from my hands? I need you to teach me that technique.
Sword? Teach? Technique? That's a joke, right? Because that's just about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Maybe so, but I saw you do it. You don't remember? You moved like a flash, and before I knew it...
Nope, wasn't Bernie. You must have dreamed it. Unless my accuser dares to produce some evidence.
Yes, evidence. I still have your satchel, see?
Oh, My satchel. Wait, that? No, that's not mine. You can't prove it's mine.
You know it's yours.
I'm innocent, I swear. Merciful Zero, save me!
This is getting nowhere. But, maybe I should corner her like last time. Then she'll use the technique without thinking. Never mind. I'm done here.
Lies! All lies! I didn't do any... Huh? Well, where'd he go?
You were unprepared. You were unprepared. On my honor as a knight. Child's play. You were unprepared.
That was bad luck.
Child's play.
Professor!
Hi there!
Unbelievable.
Ugh.
I think this month we will invade Ferdiad. Leave them as a trick. Thank you. Thank you very much.
having a meal together with Shamir. I'm happy and more than a bit nervous.
It's rude to ignore the professor like that. Who is... Of course... I still need to improve.
That's... I understand. This...
I appreciate that. Looks like. I'm getting...
I'm really get...
I have to ask you. Huh, not bad.
Professor.
Thank you.
I will enjoy this.
You can count on me.
We did well enough.
It seems my proficiency has improved.
Technique never betrays.
So the choice is between a battle to try and get class experience so that I can get Shamir out of the archer class, or doing some exploration and probably boosting everyone's motivation so that I can try to train people into the Bow Knight class. It seems like it benefits more people if I go for exploration this time.
That looks appetizing.
Yeah, you just get it, Professor. This is my favorite.
This looks.
I appreciate.
Ooh,
Oh, this takes me...
Professor.
What?
Professor, I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am all now.
How is this? Everyone is what he is. That is exact.
True. Dimitri's either with our current.
Hello.
How is this?
Professor. If we're headed perhaps Lady Rayo. Professor.
It seems it may be. Besides,
Professor. Maybe. I don't feel, but if it's... I figure we've been friends.
Sing. This is. Oh, stand. How many? It is my hope.
This... I've learned...
Ah. That was... I appreciate...
I got. I'd never. Thanks. Thanks.
All right. Hey. Hey.
I have...
Pretty good job, if I do say so myself.
There must be more I can do.
I'm finally grasping this.
Perhaps I'll expand the scope of my research.
Hit and run is potentially useful. Let's see how close we are to getting Bonites. 91%, I will take that risk.
Easy.
%68% is a little bit risky. %69%. So they're right about the same level.
That...
This looks...
I appreciate.
That.
Yeah.
I know.
Professor, I really caused... I'm now...
How is this?
True. Dimitri's either way with our current...
Maybe. I don't feel, but if his I figure we've been friends.
How is this?
Maybe.
A moment, please.
Hello. We buried. There was once. For now, all will be.
It's...
Professor.
Could I trouble you?
It seems we are headed. It may be. Besides.
Look. How? Look.
I got. Thanks for.
That... Oh. Thank... That was helpful. All the more reason to... Oh.
I'll do my best with this. Now I've... Yeah. Thanks. I learned...
You look like a cat that's been sprayed with water. What? You don't think I should sing the high notes?
I've never sung a song before.
We did well enough.
91%. That seems pretty good.
I must continue to work hard.
So that should handle all of the preparations that we need to do a battle or two. And then after that will come the main storyline mission. So I'm going to cut this video here. In the next one, we'll do the rare monster battle and another battle. After that comes the story mission.